Hi everybody, I'm a high school teacher. Yeah, that was a proper reaction. Some people were wooing and clapping, somebody just went, that is the proper reaction, alright? In no way are we validating my bad decisions. Alright? You never know when fun things are going to happen when you're a high school teacher. The other day I went to the ELL class and I had to substitute teach for one period, so I thought I just had to take attendance and let them play on their phones for an hour. Wrong. I got to the first name on the list, ISIS. Like the terrorist organization, right? So I'm saying it, but they don't understand the English, they don't know what I'm talking about. I'm trying to spell it, that's not working either. I hadn't noticed that the principal walked in, right, someone up to these Middle Eastern kids and said, "Are you ISIS? Are you ISIS? Are you ISIS?" Yeah, I got to have a really fun meeting that day. I have problems with the kids who speak English as well. One of the kids the other day said, "Mr. Newton, other kids say you look like the Lorax." Yeah, I didn't need to know that. I'm a history teacher. The other day I was teaching the kids about the Holocaust, and I said, Hitler killed 6 million Jews. And this one kid said, "That's not the worst thing that Hitler did." And me, because I'm not that smart, said, "What's the worst thing that Hitler did?" And this kid looked right at me and said, "Hitler did your mom." Yeah, I just do it for the respect, really. Oh, God. These kids, they make weird connections, too. Like, I had this kid, for 9/11, he told me he knew everything about 9/11 because he saw the movie Soul Plane. I make fun of that kid, but I'm excited to teach him about feminism by having him watch the movie White Chicks. I don't just work with kids, I also have kids of my own. And I have a son who's like a younger version of me, a smaller version of me. The other day he said he came up with a rap name for himself. I'm like, what's a rap name for a smaller version of me? So his rap name was Little Ritz. I'm like, Little Ritz? Why Little Ritz? He said, because I'm a tiny cracker. That's what I'm dealing with. He's turning 13, so the things we're talking about are getting a little bit different. The other day we were in a car, and he said, "Dad, what's 69? Don't worry, this story gets so much worse because my 15-year-old was also in the car, and they said, "Dad doesn't know what 69 is because he's never done it." Yeah. So I have to decide, I've been disrespected by a 15-year-old, but I'm a mature, responsible adult, and I have to model what the proper way to respond to something like that. So I said the only thing I could. "Yeah, I know what 69 is. I've done a lot with your mom." I don't know where these kids get their disrespect from. One of these days I'll figure it out. Alright, I feel like we're kind of divided as a country, but I feel like we can all come together and agree on a couple of things. I feel like there's two things I'm going to say that every person in here is going to agree with. Number one, that a lot of people say things, can kind of exaggerate things to make themselves seem cooler or to make people think that they're cool. I think we can all kind of agree with that. People are nodding, yep. And the second one is that everybody who's late should be killed. Yeah, I feel like both of those, unless people always say yes for the last second. I'm not quite sure why. All right, I'm going to do a less controversial topic. I have a trans son. Yeah, I just did it basically for the clapping, really. And it's weird. We're still kind of in the beginning, so I'm not always sure what to say, and people aren't always sure what to say. So if you don't know what to say, that's fine. We're all trying to get through to understand. And it's a little harder for me though because I'm a comedian. So the first thing I always ask myself is, what would Dave Chappelle do? And that is not helpful in this situation, let me tell you. Not helpful at all. I'm wondering too where, how this happened, and some people don't know, but I think I figured it out. When I was a little kid, I asked for a transformer, and now I got one, so I'm super excited to get my own Optimus pronoun. I've learned a lot too having a trans kid. One of the things that I've learned is that you can't get a refund for a gender reveal party. That just doesn't happen. All right. As Sean said, my name is George Newton. My full name is actually worse than that, though. It's George Lyman Newton III. Oh, yeah. See, nobody's like, "No, that's a good name." Everyone's like, "Yeah, we understand." Can anybody beat that? Anybody got a worse name than that? Everyone's like, "No." All right, cool. Yeah. All right. So I'm the third, right? So that means my dad has the same name, and he hates his name too. So I'm like, "Why did you name me that if you have the same name as me?" And he said, "Well, your grandfather was going through a lot." And I'm like, long story short, hurt people hurt people. What do you say? Yeah. All right. I'm going to change tactics a little bit, do something a little easier. Where my fatties at? Woo! Woo! Yeah, there we go. I feel like more people should have responded to that. I feel like some of us have a lot more on us. And we should admit it, because thin people have made us fat people feel bad for way too long. And it stops tonight. I went to a wedding, and one of the thin bridesmaids actually collapsed on stage. Would that happen to us fat people? Hey! all know, right? Fat power, fat power, fat power, fat power. Ugh. Alright, I teach fat acceptance, but my arm really hurts, so I don't think I'm gonna be able to do that one again. Alright, I'm older than a lot of the comedians you're gonna see tonight, as you can probably tell, because as the kids say, white does crack. But I'm gonna do a little bit more audience participation, alright? I'm gonna tell a story and you guys are gonna tell me whether you think it's true or not, alright? So, the other day I went to a store and I was carded. Show of hands who believes me. Absolutely no one. It's okay, I can see me too. Actually, the worst thing you could do is not that. I had somebody at a show once raise their hand and they said, well, I did that. I raised my hand because I know they card everyone, which is more hurtful than the people who didn't raise their hands right now. Alright, so thank you for being only semi-hurtful. It's okay though, I can see me too, I understand. I told that story wrong though. I wasn't carded because I was buying alcohol. I was carded because I was buying Sudafed. Now show of hands who believes me. A couple more people. I think it's important to know two things. I think it's important to know who thinks I'm young and who thinks I do math. Very important. But as I said, I am old, right? And I know that I'm old in many ways. One of the ways that I know I'm old is that when I first had sex, vaginas had hair. They didn't tell you that, young people. We used to ride the school on dinosaurs and vaginas had hair. Yeah, well, thank you for sharing. Respect. But anyway, my wife and I have been together for a long time. I'm trying. I'm really trying. My wife and I have been together for a long time, and we kind of do role playing to keep the magic going. And the one I'm gonna. I think this man needs some medical attention. I can't wait to tell him somebody's hairy vagina killed a man at the show tonight. I almost don't want to do my bit now. But I will. Somebody get this man some oxygen. Well, anyway, how my joke goes. So what we do right now is the cocky quarterback and the Jameer cheerleader. And I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. I know what you're thinking. In the right light, I make a pretty awesome cheerleader. And you guys have been an awesome audience. Give it up for your host, John.
Give it up for George Beaton, everybody.